Privilege of sampling the Golden Jubilee edition of the limited edition spice rum from the Grenada distillers, and I must say it's something that you should try. It is authentically Grenadian, but from the flavors to the aromas to the overall taste, the blend is great. It's light, it's golden like the Golden Jubilee, and I think you can make any collector's shelves anywhere in the world. Hats off to the Grenada distillers.
Development Authority of Grenada, PDA, is enforcing regulations to curb illegal, disorderly, and unauthorized development in several locations throughout the state of Grenada. The authority is concerned that structures mainly associated with vending are negatively impacting the environment, has undesirable public health and sanitation consequences, present obstructions to vehicle and pedestrian traffic, can become projectiles during adverse weather conditions, and generally affect the aesthetics of the nation. The PDA will work along with stakeholder ministries and institutions to effect the demolition, removal, and disposal of structures which fall in the category of illegal and disorderly development, commencing January 2024. In this regard, persons who vend in or occupy such illegal structures are advised to secure their personal belongings and have the structures removed ahead of the planned PDA demolition operations. These actions of the PDA have become necessary to safeguard and protect public health and the environment, ensure the safety and well-being of all citizens and visitors, discourage any future disorderly construction, and encourage compliance to regulations pertaining to physical development in the state of Grenada. This is a message from the Planning and Development Authority of Grenada.
Yeah. Ridealong Live, welcome to the ride. Welcome to Monday on the ride. As you can see by all the greenery behind me, I'm in Grenada. Beautiful Grenada. Yes. And I must also say, guys, we are on our new time. Well, it's not really a new time. The folks in New York and in Canada and Eastern Standard Time, they're actually watching us on the same time that they always watch us. But the folks in Grenada, Trinidad, Jamaica, well, not Jamaica, Trinidad and other Caribbean islands, you guys are watching us a little bit about an hour earlier because the time are now synchronized. So when we say 6 p.m. now, we mean 6 p.m. to Eastern Standard Time and Caribbean time. It's all the same time, okay? I know some of you guys was getting used to watching it at 7 p.m. in the Caribbean, but it's 6 p.m. right now. Okay? 6 p.m. Ridealong Live. Today we have an interesting conversation, guys. This is, well, I shouldn't say interesting. This is a terrifying incident that happened on the sister isle of Carriacou. There are a lot of community response. A lot of people are talking. A lot of people are angry about what they're hearing, what they saw, and what they just came to realize about the incident that happened in Carriacou. We have some updates for you this hour. Yes, Jackie Chaitan, how you doing? Everybody share? Everybody share? Now, to help us understand this story is Dr. Michelle Sabrina Alexander. And I'll share with you why it's important and significant that Dr. Michelle Sabrina Alexander is here. She's a survivor. And when you look at both stories, guys, side by side, Michelle Sabrina Alexander, she completely understands what this child went through, as is alleged right now. Michelle Sabrina Alexander is a survivor of sexual abuse, and she's going to be sharing her story, what happened to her and how it correlates, and also for mothers, parents, fathers, how they could take advantage of this information so you don't become a statistic, because there are a lot of monsters out there, guys. Let me read the latest development that we have here in front of us, what transpired. Again, that's from the RGPF, right? From the RGPF posted 7 hours ago. They stated that Carriacou resident charged with non-capital murder. Now, that caption posted earlier today Make sure, let me get back in focus a bit. All right. That caption posted earlier today, right before showtime, we were called by a number of people in Carriacou stating that this fella is not from Carriacou. So the caption is incorrect. But I had to state that this caption was syndicated to all media outlets by the Royal Grenada Police Force, right? So it says here that Carriacou resident charged with non-capital murder, John Kendall Alexis, a 30-year-old self-employed of Lauriston, Carriacou, was charged with the offense of non-capital murder by intentional causing the death of the young Esther Patterson, 14-year-old student of Lauriston, Carriacou, by unlawful harm. The offense is alleged to have committed on Friday, the 8th, 2024, at Lauriston, Carriacou. Mr. Alexis is expected to make his first court appearance later on this week. And again, the source of this information is the Royal Grenada Police Force. Also, this hour, guys, as we started, and the name Alexis in Carriacou is synonymous for business. They own boats, and they wanted to make it very clear. I got calls from number of Alexis in Carriacou that this particular person is not associated with the Alexis from Carriacou. So there's a lot of clarification that want to be made here on this particular post. First, the comments are saying that the individual is not from Carriacou, stating that the caption is incorrect, and secondly, stating that this is not the Alexis from Carriacou. All right, loud and clear. They wanted to make that known. All right, guys. So first, let's talk about the media attention that this thing is getting. Now, this I was in Carriacou yesterday on the ride, and there were a huge candlelight vigil for this young lady, right? 14-year-old Esther. And it is sad because she is blossoming. She was blossoming into this beautiful and talented young lady, and only for her life to be cut short by, in this situation, what is alleged to be some sort of sexual relation, unauthorized sexual relation with a step parent. Again, all of these are alleged information at this time. So give us some media attention, some media view on this. Let's join right now with Kareem. Prince Kareem is someplace in Pineville. Let me see if we can bring in Prince Kareem. Prince, you can hear me?
Loud and clear.
Nice. Prince, you've been following the story as I've been following the story, paying close attention to what's happening here. What's your take from the incident and what you've seen on social media, what was reported?
Hey, good afternoon to everyone. I want to say a special good afternoon to your viewers and followers, first and foremost. And I've been following this story. I've been getting calls and things from people up there following the story as well. And I wasn't saying anything. I was just gathering information and want to be specific about certain things I want to say. Because there is a lot of times situation like this happens and we go just make assumptions and make an ass out of ourselves and make ourselves look stupid on the media and just say things and I just look for clarifications before I speak. Because in situations like that, there is a lot of people being hurt by the situation. There is a lot of people being affected by the situation, and based on what you say or post on social media, you may have a big effects. You may have big effects on the people that being hurt by the situation. And I learned that through my nephew and my little brother went out missing at sea, and and some of the comments and things from the public, even without knowing the story, it kind of opened my vision and make me have a kind of better understanding, a clear view as to understanding situation and being lenient and being careful of what you post and say on social media. Now, when I got the call this morning stating that the stepfather of the child was charged for non-capital murder and he used to sexually assault the child and numerous complaint has been made to the mother, that is not evidence I could prove, but what I could tell you based on experience around me, a lot of times situations like these things happen, the parents and them have a big part to play in this situation. For instance, like I'm not speaking of this situation per se, but all situations surrounding that situation. Enough time the parents is to be blamed. Because in a lot of cases, Junior, children just complain to their parents about the stepfathers or the fathers sexually assaulting them and stuff like that. And I don't understand how as a mother, or how as a parent, or how as a guardian of a kid that you go put a man or put a male or whatever in in a better situation or in a better point standing than your child. I don't know how you could consider a man so much more than your own child. That somebody complains, somebody cases on them like that, like the parents just there.
Right.
It's like they're trying to protect themselves from people saying things and they're damaging them children in the process.
Right.
You understand? And
Yes.
and I want to come down especially on the parents, right? The parents, mothers. I think they need to pay more closer attention, I should say, to the kids and try to, communicate with the kids better and have a better relationship with the kids, right? You know, certain things, don't ignore it. Don't afraid what the public go say, oh, the child father or she man molest the child and she make the man go. A lot of them fear of what the public go say.
Right.
But if you take important step and try to resolve the situation as soon as it comes, maybe the child would have been alive today to tell the story, right?
Right.
Because if a child comes to you as a parent, I'm not a parent, but I'm growing up around my sisters and them who have kids and I have a clear understanding. You don't have to have kids to have experience with kids. Based on situation around you, you could learn from certain situations. So it's not that I don't have children, so I can't speak on the behalf of the parents. You understand?
Right.
Junior, my mother has 16 children, my father have about 21. So growing around that situation, I have a clear understanding and I have experience in that field. It have a lot of men out here, a lot of men. They, they are very much dangerous predators. You
Right.
understand? And you see them, the way how they look at them children and them, the way how they're watching them, they're licking their lips, they're fantasizing on them. You could just tell what does be going on in closed doors. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And them parents and them again, they need to set up certain things in place. They need to question the children. It's okay to question all the children. Bring them for a walk, bring them and chill somewhere. Go and have a little lunch with them somewhere and question them as to what does be going on, what does be transpiring. So you could have a clear idea as to clear understanding as to what exactly does be going on behind closed doors when you're not around, when you are wrong,
Yeah.
and and I think the parents are then neglecting their children too much for man,
Right.
right?
Right.
They're neglecting their children, they're not studying them, some of them even vexing with their children, scolding them, cussing them, discriminating them, giving them attitude when they come to them with kind of situation like that. And I think if the mother they pay close attention to her daughter and hear out, maybe she would have been alive today.
Right. Right. In this particular instant right here, again, these are mere allegations, right? We have no proof at this time to say that the mother is anyway involved. These are allegations. It is also alleged that the mother was taken into custody, well, taken in for questioning today. All right. We don't know the extent to which she was questioned, and we don't know if she knew about anything to do with her child's murder. We also have allegations that the individual, Mr. Alexis, confessed. There was a news article that posted that and said that he confessed to the crime. That has not yet officially been published on the RGPF website. Nonetheless, it was published on other media outlets as he confessed to the crime. The question I think I always would ask, and I always was asked, Dred, what is the incentive of a parent, of a mother, knowing that her child is going through anything related to unwanted sexual touching and not want to protect that child? I think every parent, every mother in particular, with that nourishing feature that a mother has, she would think to protect the child or daughter first. Wouldn't you think so?
But as I stated a while ago, I think a lot of them afraid of the feedback from the public. You understand?
Right.
A lot of them shame and afraid because in an instance like that, maybe she was married and maybe she thinking to herself now, I know what people go say, but I know what people go watch me, that go mash up me marriage and thing. But I don't think nothing is important as raising your kids or your daughter in a way that you want her to raise her kids. You understand? So you
Right.
protect her from everything and guide her in the way that you want her to grow to prepare for the world. You understand? There is a lot of cases now based on the situation in the relationship that the mother now could be hiding certain things. I'm not speaking about that situation per se, but all situation surrounding that situation. A lot of them does even hide things just to protect their marriage or protect their relationship with that individual. You understand? They're in fear of what the public go say. A lot of people nowadays, Junior, are living life to suit the public. What
Right.
people go say and the feedback from the public.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
and Junior, I've experienced it for myself in cases where parents would even send their underage children. You can't put nothing past nobody. They're sending their underage children to have sexual intercourse with men for money and stuff like that. And they're going around right around Grenada. Well, I could say all around the world, but I've never been all around the world, so I could only speak for Grenada where I born and grow. You have
Right.
situations right around the place going on right now where parents sending their underage children to have sex with men for money and for groceries and for all kind of different sorts of things. And it's very embarrassing that you would destroy your young daughter character, reputation, life just for vanity, just for money, just for what? For groceries, for things to eat, them kind of stuff like that. And I'm wondering to myself now, in just like cases where a parent would sit down home, send she 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 9, 8-year-old daughter on the street to sell peppers and to sell vegetables and to sell oranges and stuff like that. And you sit down home waiting for them to come home with the money. I'm wondering to myself, what kind of dog life is that we living now? You understand? Some of them parents just expose their children to too much a thing at a young age.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, as a parent, you go sit down home, cock up your foot, and send your 8, 9, 10-year-old daughter on the streets, knowing the kind of dangerous times we're living in, with a set of dangerous, heartless predators out here, and you send your 8, 9, 10-year-old daughter on the street by herself to sell orange, or to sell skin up, or to sell plum, or to sell mango. And I remember, Junior, growing up as a kid, my mother used to send me sisters and them and sell things too, because survival was a must. But at no point in time, my mother used to send one in my sister to go and sell things. Sometimes all three of them going together to sell one little basket of mango, or one little basket of orange, or one little basket of plum. At least one could guide the other. And this situation and them wasn't like rampant like no.
Yeah.
So a lot of them parents now exposing their children to too much. Some of them, the kind of conversation and thing they'll be having in front of their kids, the kind of lifestyle they'll be living in front of their kids now, making their kids think it's okay to do certain things. And it's only when situation like this occurs, then they go say, if they didn't know and they never used to do this and they never used to do that, and they just take on themselves to protect themselves.
Yeah.
But the little blueprint from Oli, they ignore it.
Yeah. Yeah. And those warning signs, a lot of the parents and them, they ignore it, and they don't take action soon enough. Guys, we're talking about this particular story right here. Again, the RGPF reported earlier that Carriacou resident charged with non-capital murder. John Kendall Alexis, 30-year-old, self-employed, was charged with the offense of non-capital murder by intentionally causing the death of Esther Patterson, 14-year-old student of Lauriston, Carriacou, by unlawful harm, The offense is alleged to have taken place or committed on Friday, the 8th of March at Lauriston, Carriacou. Mr. Alex is expected to make his first court appearance later on this week, and we are looking at this. And I know that there are a lot of people out there who are very angry and want to see some immediate things done. And oftentimes I say sometimes this people I think this is like a knee-jerk reaction, and after 5 days we stop talking about it. But we have to continue the conversation. We have to continue speaking about this because it's going to continue happening. I remember Ariel Bola. I remember the same kind of anger and rage that erupted in our community after what happened to Ariel Bola. And now people don't even remember. People don't even talk about it anymore. So our community have this thing that we figure that if something happened, then we should talk about it. And then when the next thing happened, we move to the next big thing, and we don't sustain the conversation so that we could have change. And that I think is one of the major problem. Kareem, any other you heard out there in the blog, in the media in relation to that? Because I do want to bring in Michelle Alexander, who is a survivor, to share part of her story, and it's very similar to what happened here that we're speaking about. Anything else that you see that you wanted to comment on, Kareem?
No, I just want to lay it out there, Junior, and to talk to the parents and them especially, because them are the one in control of these situations and them. You understand? Because I think paying close attention, like Junior, I grew up in a house with 16 of us, as I tell you already. Right?
Yeah.
My mother, together with my father, have 7 girls, 9 boys. Junior, at no point in time, if I lie to move from this life alive, at no point in time I ever see past my father knee come up. And none of my sisters and them could never say they see past my father knee come up. My father used to take his clothes, Junior, go into the bathroom with his clothes and his towel. He bathing in the bathroom, he changing his clothes in the bathroom, and when he come inside the house, he well dressed. Never walk in the house with a towel on him, never walk with a boxers on him, never expose us, neither the boys, neither the girls, because it's so unfortunate these days that you find stepfathers molesting boys as well as girls in the family. And it's very disturbing. That is why you see young men as well as young women growing in a particular way, because them men and them so desperate that they're sexually assaulting male as well as female.
Yeah.
You understand? And I could say, by thank God, I never grow in this kind of environment. I never grow in that condition, but I grow around a village with similar situation like this occurs. So I have a clear understanding as to what does really transpire. But I could speak formally, but if it's one good thing about my father, he raised girls and he never really exposed them to them kind of stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
And even when my father was sick before he died, may his soul rest in peace. My sister and them used to, even my mother used to have to go in his house and, you know, take care of him, bathe him, clothe him, change his clothes and things. And he used to still be hiding in a kind of way like you don't want nobody see, you know. You don't want my sister and them bathe him and dress him and things. You don't want them see private party in them kind of way, you know. But some reason, like men so comfortable now doing these things. The authorities now need to put some stiffer and faster penalty in place for this kind of men and them. You know, even if it's for this instance or this situation per se, put some more serious and maybe detrimental if they have to use it. And I speak in on a point of view is whether it's me in the situation, whether it's my brother, whether it's my uncle, whether it's my nephew, anybody in my family do the same thing, I want them to get the same punishment. So I'm not speaking because the young fella is not related to me. I'm making certain statements. I'm speaking because I want, even though I end up in that situation, I want to be dealt with similarly.
Right.
Because
And
I don't know.
you know one thing that men have to push very strongly, and I said it before, I'm not going to be the friend of any pedophile, and men have to understand that and put that as a very strong statement. I ain't sit down in no bar and talk about men who touch little children and banter about that. There's nothing to banter about. If I know anybody that's a sexual pedophile, me and you can be friends. Me and you can sit in a bar. Me and you can chill. Me and you can talk. I want to have nothing to do with that. I don't want to be a part of that. I think if more men decide to do that and talk to the other men, the men and them who they know is involved in this stuff, I don't know if I don't mean that it would make a 360 change, but at least some people may get the message.
Junior, but the bad and sad reality about that is you wouldn't know unless they hook
True.
them.
True.
Because you will be by a shop and you will be talking about men who sexually assaulting young girls and young boys, and you'll hear they say, no, I would never do that, and I was rating no man are doing that. You hear they burning out other men were doing that, and when you hear the cry, when you get the story, sometimes you just be shame for yourself because that person does speak so highly against that, and look, they come and end up in the same situation. You understand? So a lot of them just be talking, so then you won't know, because a lot of them just be talking and say they will never do this and they will never do that, and the kill man are doing that and fireborn man are doing that, and when you do hear the cry behind closed doors, them are doing itself. You
Right.
understand?
Yeah.
Then a little tip again I want to give them parents and them, even though whether it's the child father, Junior, whether it's their stepfather, I think parents supposed to be, whether you're home or out on the street, they should dress their children in a particular way so they won't call no wolf. You understand?
Right.
Dress children like children, let it behave like children, let it talk like children, let it walk like children, let it dress like children, even though they're out on the road or home, because the devil is a big temptation. You understand? And sometimes you have your daughter home, she have a tights on her, she have a vest, and sometimes the man have a shade, sometimes you don't even watching where you watching, you don't see where you watching, but you watching her, you licking the lips, you admiring her. Some of them waiting, they're giving them crap. I giving them 2 more mango season, 1 more mango season. Sometimes temptation is like the devil. So let me look at all different ways to try to protect this situation from occurring. You understand? So to parents per se, even if you're home or out on the streets, dress all the children like children, please. Let her wear some kind of, decent attire. When they're home, when they come out from school, this no brand, this vest on them and this batty rider on them or tights on them, you never know what men go be thinking. And it's only when they get catch, some of them does realize what does be going on.
Yeah.
You understand? Sometimes them children and them so much in fear that them men threatening them, if you talk, what I go do you, and I go kill you, and I go this and that. So some of them children does even afraid to even speak of what's happening in the home when the parents there, when they're not there. Whether it be their home together with them, whether them parents go to work, some of them are afraid to speak about the incident. So, I'll make you just turn it down a little for me, please. Yeah, Junior.
Yeah. Kareem, listen. Great conversation with you. I gotta join Michelle on the line. Michelle is a survivor. Dr. Michelle Sabrina Alexander is joining us right now. Dr. Alexander, welcome to the ride. How are you doing?
Afternoon, I'm fine. And afternoon to your listening audience.
Yes. Dr. Alexander, congratulations on all the great things that you have been doing. I remember about that was a couple of years ago. Well, I think your story was the first story we had on Ridealong that actually kind of made the platform. Everyone have a story to tell. But when I went back to there and I listened to your story back then, it seems so similar to what we saw here today. Do you see the major similarities?
So first off, right, I'm trying to really control my emotions because I don't even know how to feel at this point. When I look back at Esther's story at 14, I remember that was the time when I got the courage to speak. So my abuse started when I was 10.
Right.
And same situation. I remember trying to tell my mother what it is I was going through, and she didn't believe me. My attitude changed. No one paid attention to it. I even went to school. I became the complete opposite of what I used to be, and still no one paid attention to that. And then just listening and hearing that this child may have tried to communicate with her mother and let her mother know maybe what it is she was going through, and nothing was done. It sort of reminded me also what I went through. And this is the thing. We live in a society where, we try to break the silence around sexual abuse. We tell children to speak out, to seek help, and when they do, nothing, absolutely nothing happens. This is something I think could have been avoided. um and I was, funny enough, I was speaking to one of my sisters today,
Uh-huh.
and she said to me, Sabrina, you know what, our mother knew exactly what was happening to us. So it's not a situation where parents don't know. As mothers, and I could speak as and being a mother now, as mothers, we have an instinct, right? We know what our children are going through. There is no way a mother would be in a house with a child and not know that that child is being abused, not know that something is causing the change in behavior. So sometimes as parents, we become a little bit too naive. We put everything in front of our children, especially these men. And these men, they know what it is they're doing. They don't just come into people's home and decide, okay, well, I would abuse the child. They look at the patterns, they look at the relationship, they look at so many things, and then they exploit and they take advantage. And as mothers, we sometimes allow it. We need to be realistic as well, because sometimes these mothers, they are victims themselves. Maybe they went through the same thing,
Yeah.
and that is just their way of coping. But that shouldn't be a way of coping. When you're a mother, that becomes priority above everything else. So the level of denial is shocking. And even in Grenada, I mean, we lost Brittany, we lost Ariel, now we lost Esther. How do we want to lose another child? Even the systems, I believe the systems that are there
Yeah.
to protect our children, they are not efficient, because you go to the police, for example,
Yeah.
you report a case, let's say sexual violence. You pick up the person, the accused, it's a bailable offense, so they would get bail. You don't send them directly to jail. When you give them bail, they return to the same community. In most instances, they
Right.
return to the same home because the mothers love. So they accept these men back in the same household. There you put the children or that child at greater risk. So when we asking children to speak out, I believe we should we should provide the climate that would support them if they do speak out. So we would not, because we shouldn't have this conversation. This conversation shouldn't be happening today. This death could have been avoided if
Yeah.
only, because the laws are there. We're not saying change the laws. The laws are there. What needs to happen is that these laws needs to be enforced. Some strong message needs to be sent to these predators so that they would think twice. Not that they commit the crime and they go and they sit down in Richmond Hill for 5 to 7 years and they come back, and what happens? They do the same thing. This child life was robbed at 14. She had a whole life ahead of her. And it's just it's sad and it's depressing. Look,
Yeah.
beautiful young lady
Beautiful
gone.
lady. Yeah. Michelle, talk to us about your mother and the role that your mother played, right? And why do you think that your mother never protected you or protected you more in your situation?
Lord, I'm laughing, but it's not funny, nah? Me talking about my mother might stir some things, but that's okay.
Right.
Um, so I blame my mother in more than one ways, right? Yes, I understand what our living conditions were. We were poor, but if you had to suck salt and the children had to suck salt, that could happen. In
Right.
my mother's case, right? I think she went wrong. The first thing is that my stepfather, she, well, prior to, they were together before I was born,
Right.
and then he went to jail for sexually abusing his own daughter. So she went wrong there, because for me, there's no way I would know that a man went to jail for a sexual crime and bring him in a house full of girl children. That is a complete no, no. Um, when I became a victim, it was hard, because back then, it wasn't something that we spoke about. It was really a taboo topic, and back then it wasn't a matter of your stepfather is abusing you. It was a matter of you taking your stepfather. So there was stigma, right?
Right. Right.
But I think I was always an outspoken person, and I was always a person that was always in my head. I would think a lot. And I remember I knew what he was doing was wrong. And I remember the very first time it happened. We had lands in Oguel in the mountain, and I was this kind of outside tomboyish person. I like agriculture. Outside was my thing, and I would go with him in the lands. I was 10. And I remember him asking me, Sabrina, I could do something for me. And I was like, yeah, because I'm a stepfather, we cool.
Right.
He was like, you sure you could do something for me? And I was like, yeah, no problem. And he was like, boom him. And I knew then, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know what the act was, but I
Mm-hmm.
knew of the act. And I knew it was something that was wrong. And I remember saying to him, no. And he said to me, if you tell your mother anything, you I would go back to where I came from. And I knew where he came from. He had come from jail before he joined our household. And if you read my book, think I have a chapter of that. And he literally had a cutlass in my throat telling me if I tell my mother anything, he'll go back to jail. And he knew she wasn't going to believe me. So he told me, say, even if you tell her, I know she would not believe you. And that's what I'm saying, that these predators, they know exactly what it is they're doing. To me, I believe they are psychologists. They study everything. They study the environment. They know. So I had to endure that abuse for 4 years. And I remember sometimes at night I would go to bed and I would pray and I would say, Lord, give me the strength so that I could speak out. And although I couldn't put it in words, I couldn't put it in words in the beginning, because it's not something you're confident to speak about. And back then, again, we had so much stigma and label and all these negative things. But I would show it in my actions. And I remember there was this time I tell my mother, I say, what you're supposed to know. She was calling me some more or something like that. And I say, Tanti, what you're supposed to know, you don't even know it. And he asked me, Sabrina, what you mean by that? And I remember my stepfather and my
Mm-hmm.
mother beating me mercilessly just because I made that statement. And when I had enough, I decided that I was going to report it. And I went into social services then. And when I went to report it, even the experience that I had then, because I went to report it and they was asking me, where is your parents? Where is your mother? And I'm like, my mother don't believe me. Because I remember at times when I tried to tell her, she say, somebody have to leave the house. You're trying to put my husband in trouble. And somebody have to leave the house for somebody. He wouldn't leave the house for you. You would have to leave the house for him. And I remember
How old was
relating all these things to the social worker. And
uh
he still told me that before they could help me, they would have to call my mother. And I was like, I would not leave here unless I'll deal with this case. If I am telling you that my mother is not doing anything about it, why would you tell me go home and then you would talk to my mother so they could deal with it? And that's how my case, I remember, my case was dealt with. And they took me, Karim was here, his sister, who was a police. She was very, very helpful in this whole situation. They took me to the hospital, they make me do whatever test I needed to do. Then they put me in the Cedars home. When we had case, I remember my mother walking around Grenville and saying, oh, nothing good will come out of your life, and you lie on my husband, and you this and you that and you the other. And that man went to jail, came out of jail, and he continued. He did the same thing. Two of my other sisters, I wouldn't name them, they became victim to the same thing. And I remember even when, I think it's, I don't even, at first I didn't even care. I think it was last year or year before, when that man hanged himself. My mother went to the police station and she told the police, I killed your husband. And police was coming to me to ask me, and I was like, so it's like the cycle, it doesn't end. Because when you're a victim and you speak out, you're a father being victimized. And if you're not strong, the system and everything would just make the situation worse. So I think the law needs to start making an example from these parents, especially mothers, because more than often, matter of fact, not more than often, 100% of the time, Junior, they know what is going on. 'Cause I remember a time again, Hurricane Ivan, 2004. We went to the neighbor's house, higher, just maybe about 50 feet away from our home.
Right.
And we were lying on the bed. It was my mother, me, my stepfather. And I remember right there and then I was abused and my mother was right there and I couldn't say nothing. So you telling me my mother never knew? She knew. But maybe because she was so dependent, she didn't do anything about it. And I tell you, up to this day, I remember up people say, oh, Sabrina died and Sabrina this and Sabrina that and Sabrina the other. But I know exactly what it is I went through. And this is the thing that keeps a lot of people, a lot of children in Grenada. This is what keeps them silent. Because when they speak the truth, they are being re-victimized. So unless we don't change the culture, these things would continue to happen.
Right. What about the incentives that these predators know that they could give to you to kind of trade your silence? And you spoke about the psychological effect that they have on you. How does that play out? Or how do they play that out to get you to kind of do say nothing?
I don't think first there is any physical incentive. Um, they get you to a place where you can trust them, a place where you have respect for them. So sometimes, even as children, remember, as a child, you don't have that level of logics. You're innocent. So whatever you're thinking of, it's coming from a place of innocence. So they prey on that. They make you feel like it's a safe space. With them, it's a safe space. Because I remember with my stepfather situation, my mother would always tell me, because I remember I said they were together when she was pregnant with me. Then they broke up. He went
Yeah.
to jail, reunited. So she always, like, she would always tell me about him, right? And how he was there and my father wasn't there and all these other things. So I had a level of respect for him. And I think he preyed on that. He never gave me no like physical incentives like money or anything like that. First, he preyed on the fact that I had trust in him. Then he re-emphasized that with the fact that he knew the relationship I had with my mother, which was a bit rocky and shaky. So he preyed on that. He made me feel like, okay, I'm doing this to you. You have to keep it a secret. And you may want to tell your mother, but even if you tell her, it would be worse for you because she would not believe you. So they create that kind of fear in your mind. And as a child, you're not thinking about any other thing. You're seeing that fear.
Yeah. Yeah. How did your behavior change? And
I
how and did anybody read the cues of your behavioral change? Teachers, anybody?
they saw it as okay, so I think I became okay, so I became kind of rude and rowdy because I wanted somebody to ask me, Sabrina, what happening with you? Or Michelle, what's going on? Well, then I used to be Sabrina. That name I used to use more. So
Right.
I wanted to get that attention for somebody to just ask, but that never happened. Instead, I was labeled as being a rude and a disrespectful child.
See. And that affected your schooling, I could assume. That affected everything going on the road.
At that time, I really like during that time, to be honest, it affected everything, and I didn't care. Like I had like a don't care attitude. It's like I didn't care about school. What am I going to school for? Right? It's like I didn't care. I didn't have no goals. I didn't have anything like that. Because in my mind, I was just, you know, consumed by what was taking place. And then I remember too, when I was in GSS, because I say that I speak when I was about 14. People would literally make fun of me, like, "Oh, you're taking your stepfather, use a this, use a that, use the other." So it was difficult, and it sometimes I think it's sometimes still difficult, because as I say, even when he decided to take his life, I was blamed. They said it was because of me. I killed him. I was attacked on Facebook. They went on news. Like, it was just crazy. So at no time, anybody, in my case, up to this day, no one took responsibility.
Wow. Stick a pin right there. We got a caller on the line calling in. Caller, live, where are you calling us from?
Oh, I'm calling from Australia.
Australia.
We,
Down under.
yeah,
Wow.
but I'm from Grenada. I'm South St. George.
Okay, all right, Australia. What time is it in Australia now? It's tomorrow in Australia. Tuesday.
Yeah, it's 9:45 in the morning.
9:45 in the morning. Wow. Okay. All right, Australia. How you doing? Go ahead.
Yeah, based on that same topic, what this lady's talking about, well, I had experience as well when I was growing up in school, and plus with my dad, he was very strict. And I look at my mom was scared to report anything at those times. So it not only for female, male as well. I have a brother now who is back home addicted to drugs on that same treatment. So a number of things is and some others feel like the government need to step in. It's just like if we live in a village, people, community leaders, some other community leaders is the head of the problem as well. Because it's like, we have that old saying, fig telling blogger abstain.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah.
So it's not only female only. It's like, no, I am scared, like just for someone hitting my kids or to hit my niece back home as well. Like spanking in school, like all those things does affect me mentally as well, because me wouldn't speaking up, it was difficult back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all to the present moment as well. So all of these things create fear, it create anxiety, it create a cell where people just don't talk about stuff that some of them feel as killing themselves as well.
Yeah. Yeah. That is so true.
So it's like it's serious topic. Is like if someone talking about change a solution, it's have to deal with the other. I look at that to create like look at our history is still within Morris Bishop, Gary, all of these guys did some of them did stuff. The only leader I look at in Grenada who was trying to bring Grenada and Grenadians as one was Morris Bishop. He had afternoon classes, parents. I could remember when I was very young, my parents used to go to these afternoon classes in the SG. So it's like they have to bring back certain things because it's going to create a domino effect of long-term problems. Because look at me, I'm 53 and I'm living with these problems.
Wow.
Not to say I get help anyone. I'm living with the problem.
Yeah. Kola, it is good that you're speaking out, because there are a lot of men who never come out and speak out about this thing there. It's a cliche. It's like men don't talk about this stuff. Men just deal with whatever situation. But probably by you coming out and speaking would encourage men to even come out and speak, probably publicly or not, or seek assistance.
Well, they don't want to look. No, a man supposed to be the breadwinner, like an alpha male to provide.
Right.
But if the same community and that you're part of degrading you and putting you down because you never grew up with that support network.
Yeah.
If you look at Western society, they have a whole network of supporting each other. We have that in Grenada. It's within that alpha male attitude of pulling people down. It's like we have to come out of that, man.
Yeah.
If life is short, why we doing all of those things to each other?
Sad. Australia, you know, you have a whole story to tell. Probably one time we could have a longer conversation with you on that issue, because I think that there more men need to speak out about these things, and probably that would be the catalyst to start the conversation. But thank you so much, Australia, for watching 9 something on Tuesday in Australia right now from down under. Thank you so much. We'll keep in touch.
Yeah, thank you, Junior.
All right, thanks again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Alexander, what's your thoughts about Australia speaking out as a man being sexually abused and affecting him up to a day like today?
Well, first, I don't know, no, Lord. And that is the thing, right? The thing about it is that as victims, I don't think we reach a place where there's 100% healing. And I could imagine how it is for him as a man, because for all these years, he had to live with that. And imagine in a society of as ours, Grenada, if a man come out and say he's raped, the first thing we want to call him is, oh, you're a batty man, oh, you're this, oh, you're that. So our system again doesn't even provide the environment. You don't have the environment where females could speak out, much less for males. And I think this is one of the things we need to change. We are living in a new era, an era that is facilitated by AI and all these other things. What we need to do, it is something that is difficult to speak about. So maybe now is the time where we could create maybe a AI app that would be user friendly, where a person, if they're a victim or if they need help, they could just send a message or maybe just send a code. Every child have a phone or a tablet. So we need to start using these tools to see how we could address some of the social issues that we face. Because something will happen and we go come back here and we go talk again. But if we're talking and nothing is being done, the vicious cycle continues. So I'm hoping that after Esther's incident, we would see more being done to protect our boys and to protect our girls. Because if you look at the statistics, I remember when I was in SGU and I was doing one of my research, Junior, there was children between the ages of 1 to 3 that was being sexually abused. 1 year to 3 years. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculousness. And then we're just sending these men in Richmond Hill to eat 3 square meals that we pay in taxes for. That is ridiculous. We are promoting. I want to say we, each and every one of us, each and every taxpayer, we are tolerating these behaviors. And if we continue, I don't know. It's just really, it's sad.
I want to reach out to, I see my good friend Keisha McFarlane in the chat. Keisha, I know we have a overdue conversation. You have a lot to speak about, and I know you're going through immense pain, especially when you're hearing these stories and you're seeing this thing relive. Start to think about what happened to you in your own life, and that's something that you need to get out there. So I promise you we'll have this conversation where you get opportunity to get your word out. Prince Akeem, you want to
Junior, I just want to add a little to what the young man said a while ago from Australia. Junior, no man, I'm telling you, all men going through this situation now would be very much ashamed and in fear to come on social media and to tell people that they're being sexually assaulted by their father or their stepfather. Junior, I know of 3 young men right now, their life done. When I tell you done, it damaged. Because of them coming out to the public and speaking of them being sexually assaulted by the stepfather or the father or a man or whoever. Junior, I don't know what happened to Grenadians. It have a lot of people That just tell you, oh, when you have a problem, come to me, come and tell me your problem, come and talk to me about it, talk to somebody about it. And when you speak out about it, Junior, they victimize you, they make fun of you, they call you names, they embarrass you, and that Junior, if you're strong, if you're mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually strong as a man, that breaking you. Right? I know of 3 young men now I could call their name, but I wouldn't. That life has been damaged because of them speaking out on sexual abuse by other men. Because instead of people sympathize with them and try to help them, people calling them boomer man, all kind of dirty names. Just imagine somebody sexually assault me as a man, and I go come on social media and asking for help, begging for help, looking for a listening ear, and then people go start to call me bulla man, and I boom me with a man, and a man boom me, and just damage my reputation just like that. Right? Junior, that is why a lot of people just hang themselves, drink poison, cut their life short because they're going through certain things that they cannot bear the pressure for themselves. Speaking about it is a red card because it will only make the situation worse. Because just imagine you have to live with, just imagine a man rape you, a man sexually assault you. You come and talk just to get help, just to get assistance. And from then until you're dead, people calling you bulla man.
Yeah.
You understand? So certain times you see people living the way they're living. You just have to leave them alone because talking about certain situation is only worsening the situation.
Yeah.
Right? Because as I tell you, I know of 3 young men up in Grenville side that life is totally damaged by them speaking out of sexual abuse from men. And I think Grenadians is a set of people that don't study about the wrong set of things. Right? They just pay attention to the wrong set of things. Right? I coming out here and ask for help instead of you try to help me, you done me life just like that.
Right.
So
Yeah.
don't think there is not you just see for yourself, Junior. You just a program where gay men coming out and speak how they end up gay. And most of them, 99% of them that end up gay is because of sexual abuse from men.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's the only way you go hear them speaking about it is if they accept reality and they accept the fact that they're gay and it's okay to be gay because that's what they grow up in and that's what they grow up around. A straight man who don't have no intention of being gay, who don't want to be gay, but because of some situation he was sexually assaulted, he don't coming out on the media and speak about it.
Right. We got a call on the line. Let's jump to this call for a quick minute. Let's take the call. Caller live, where are you calling us from?
Hi, good evening, Junior. I'm calling from Boston.
Boston, go right ahead.
Junior, I remember a few years ago, I was in a group chat, and we was talking about raising our kids, especially our girls and stuff like that. And I mentioned in the group that I would never allow my daughter to sit on on her dad's lap. And they was coming down at me. They telling me like, oh, I'm acting like I'm the only one that had a child and this and this. No, I would not allow my daughter to sit on her father's lap. Kill me, I wouldn't do it, right? But the main reason why I called, I worked in the PEDS ER for over 8 years. Yeah. And one day, a lady came in with her 10-year-old daughter. The child crying, she could hardly walk. Took her to the back examining room. Junior, this child had on no underwear. She had clusters of bumps on her vagina. And with the naked eye, she could tell exactly what that was. So when I saw that, I had to call the head nurse. The head nurse had to take the mother out of the room because now we have to question the child. Right. The child said the stepfather was sexually abusing her. And every time she told the mother would beat her and tell her, oh, you just want me and your father to get back together. You don't want so-and-so to be in our life. Now they went back and spoke to the mother. The very same thing that the daughter told us is the very same thing the mother said, that the daughter was lying. What she didn't know is that we had already examined the child and knew that the child had herpes. The second thing, we held her there because we had to do a HIV testing and STD testing.
Right.
This child was HIV positive at 10 years old. Right then and there, we had to call the detective who came in, question the mother, arrest the mother for endangering the welfare of a minor. And they also went after the stepfather. I say all this to say that some women, it seems like they have to put a man before their kids, especially when they come out and say, listen, this man is touching me. The parents in some cases have to listen to their kids. And I heard Corinne said that sometimes the mothers have to question the kids. Corinne, I had my good friend, a 10-year-old daughter gave birth to a healthy baby girl. The stepfather was sexually abusing her also. The mother did not know because they had a business, they had a licensed gun in the house, and the stepfather told the little girl, if you tell, I'm going to shoot you and I'm going to shoot your mother. Right? So whether the mother would question her or not, she would not say anything because she was afraid that this man who she grew up with is going to kill her. So in certain cases, those kids cannot say anything, you know? And it's just a sad situation. But, you know, I am really hurt because it's like something that I'm now reliving in my head that, you know, this child have to die because of, you know, the mother never listened to her. You guys have a good evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, caller. Michelle, I saw the rolling eyes. It seemed like all of this stuff hit real close to home. This is
It's like it's I don't know. In this, I mean, I don't even know what to say because it's hard, eh? In this new, I mean, this is not the Grenada we had 15 years ago. This is a Grenada that I think we're more exposed, we're more educated, there's more opportunities. So why, as women, we have to accept these things and put our children in danger? What it is to start over?
yeah.
What's so difficult? And that's what I'm trying to understand in my mind. We're so dependent in 2024 that we rather our children suffer than these men pay for their crimes. That's how dependent we are in 2024.
Yeah.
Or how uneducated as women we are. So we don't even, I mean, you know how much thing it does have to go through to make a child? 9 months, some of us just have it real hard and real difficult. And you make a child and the child come to you and say, mommy, that person is abusing me. Oh gosh, you don't even investigate it to see, well, maybe there's a possibility in truth. You just didn't pay any attention to it. And now a child is dead. And the abuser just stay in a cell.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, guys, we will open up the phone lines to get your calls on the topic. A 14-year-old child was killed, was murdered, right? And the person in custody for the killing of this young 14-year-old is this man that you're watching on the screen. Preliminary reports in some media outlets said that this man confessed to the crime. We have not yet gotten that confirmation from the Royal Grenada Police Force, but this is the man currently in custody for the death of this 14-year-old Esther Patterson. Let's go back to the phone lines. We got a call online right now. Let's take it. Caller, live. Where are you calling us from?
Hey, good evening, Junior. I'm calling from Jamaica.
Jamaica, go right ahead.
Well, I'd like to first congratulate your two guests. You know, they're very articulate. They're saying some good points about the topic, and I sympathize with Sabrina for her experience. Now, what I may have to say, Junior, might be a bit on the touchy side because for me, I grew up with my dad as my, I don't want to say sole parent, so with assistance from his mother, which would have been my grandmother. And like the lady before that said that she don't allow her daughter to sit on her father's lap and stuff like that. Like my father and I have a really good relationship. So I'd sit on my father, I'd sleep with my dad, you know, stuff like that. So these topics really, there's no blueprint to it. It really depends on having a relationship with your parents. And I think as Caribbean parents, we kind of go wrong a lot where the relationship with our children is concerned. There's a difference with being a friend to your child and being a parent to your child, but at the same time.
Hello? Okay, I believe we lost that caller. Caller, please call us back. I believe the call dropped. All right, call us back. Let's jump back to the phone lines. Caller, live, where are you calling us from? Hello?
Hi, Junior.
Hey, caller, go ahead. Where are you calling us from?
Canada. I want to speak to Dr. Michelle.
Yes, she's here.
Dr. Michelle?
Hi.
Dr. Michelle?
Hi, I'm hearing.
I never met you personally, but I want to tell you that I love you. And I love you so much for who you are and what you continue to do with your life and in this life.
Okay.
But I have one request for you. You are so talented. You are so educated. You feel the pain of Esther and many other victims. Dr. Michelle, we're missing a Patricia Mack. Can you please take her place? I think you could make the difference in fixing situation like this. I am proposing to you today. I know you got what it takes. Can you please occupy Patricia Mack bench?
That's not my field.
I want to say to you, Dr. Michelle. And the next thing is, you are right. Mothers know about the sexual abuse that the kids go through, but because of pride. Listen, there's no secret there's no secret right now. I've been through it. I told my mother about it. She said to me, I lie. She beat me and she said to me, you make my husband, my boyfriend shame to walk the road because you tell everybody in the village. I didn't get no justice, summer. So I cry out and I tell people in the village. And when she found out, she beat me and she told me I make him shame to walk the road. At the time, he was a boyfriend. And you know what she did? She made him a husband. Until today, I don't know what it is to feel the love for a mother because they don't know the pain and the extent and the damage that they create in the lives of the little ones, the little angels. But I thank God that there's a God above who said to us in his words that even when your mother and your father forsake you, I, the Lord, will lift you up. And we thank him that he lifted you up, he lifted me up, and he lifted up many others. But I'm deeply saddened of that little girl, and it just brings back the heartaches of the memories of my mother. You know what these mothers do to protect these snakes and serpents. Until today, she lost her child. She lost her precious daughter. The gift God granted unto her. And she's still with that old nasty devil. But my request, I want to propose to you, Michelle. Please, I'm asking you, take the bench of Patricia Mack. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Junior, I just want to respond to some comments that I'm seeing, right? persons are saying that, nothing is being done or nothing was being done about sexual crimes and people only talk when something happened. No, that is not the truth. From since 2015, I think even with this Ridealong platform, we've been advocating against child sexual abuse. We saw a lot of reforms. I mean, some laws did change, but I think it needs to be a continuous conversation. What I think needs to happen is that the conversation needs to start at the pre and primary school level. Let children know about these things because it's something that is happening. And teachers also needs to be educated as to how to spot the signs. And if they see the signs, how to deal with it. We're supposed to have what is called mandatory reporting. And what mandatory reporting states is that once you are aware that a child is being a victim of sexual abuse or any sexual crime or any form of abuse, you're supposed to report it. Failure to report it means you can be prosecuted. So
Yes.
I'm saying all this to say these are things that are there. They are just not being implemented. And when we say, oh, nothing is being done, we need to look, we need to look at ourselves in the mirror and ask ourselves personally, what am I doing to end sexual violence? How can I contribute to saving the lives of these innocent little boys and little girls? So we all, this is not a single person thing. This is a phenomenon that we all have a part to play. There are some of us, we are in situations and we know of people that are being abused, but we want to protect our family members, or we want to protect our boyfriends, or we want to protect this or that person, and we're not speaking out. So let us start with ourselves and let us do what we can to end this plague. We all have a part to play. It's not the government, it's not the police, everybody have a part to play.
Absolutely, absolutely. We got another caller on the line. Let's jump back to the phone line real quickly. Caller, live. We're calling us from. Hello.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, hi, caller. You live?
I don't know if you got. You have me. You have me. You have me.
Yes, yes. Are you hearing me?
I, I'm hearing you.
Yes. Go right
Are you
ahead.
hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you just fine.
All right. This is John Crow.
Hey, John Crow.
And
Yes.
Dr. Michelle. Dr. Michelle, I want to know. I want to let Dr. Michelle know that I really love her. I love her plenty, plenty, plenty. And Karen, nice to talk to you, Karen. This is an area I'm very passionate about. This topic, and I want to take this on another level. I just like what Dr. Michelle just said. With all of us having a part to play. Many a times, the part that we have to play has nothing to do with the child and or reporting. A lot of times, the abuser is abusive in more ways than just the child. But because the abuser is our friend, because the abuser is a celebrity, because the abuser is a popular figure, because the abuser is a big businessman, because the abuser has rank and file and status in the community, we see it, we know it, but we don't want to say anything about it. And when people like me now, who might know about it, and then we make it public, then we are looked down upon, and we are called names, and we are made to feel like we are victims, as a victim ourselves. So Dr. Michelle is on the right path to say, yes, we all have our part to play.
Yeah.
The other angle that I also look at in these cases, our government officials, they are known members of government, whether in the past and sometimes I don't have any data yet on the present regime, but we have past government officials who are known pedophiles, who are known to be abusive to their own families. But again, because of the status, we don't want to say anything because we're minding our own business. And those things have to change. And regardless of who you are, regardless of what position you hold in the society, once these things come to light and is known, yes, you will get pushed back. I always bring up this case in Tivoli where the young lady who was sodomized by her boyfriend, sodomized in the worst way. And when she decided to raise her head and bring it to the fore, the community rallied behind the guy and shamed her down and silenced her. And the police has a rape kit that they had on her, that they took from her, and have the evidence of the abuse that she suffered. And she's a grown woman. Okay, so we talk but we like to talk around the subject. We don't like to bring it to the fore because, again, like I said, we're minding with business and we don't want the name to fall.
Right. Yeah.
I will handle the rest of the show.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Dr. Michelle, I love you plenty.
All right. Thanks again. Yeah, guys. So again, we're talking about this. Kareem, you heard a lot of contribution was made. I don't know if you want to insert anything right here before we go back to the phone lines.
Firstly, now, Junior, a lot of people does like for instance, Dr. Mitchell stated a while ago that we all have a part to play. Junior, I feel the people that has a bigger part to play is the parents, right? Junior, from my point of view, I may seen that a young lady is being sexually assaulted by her stepfather, and the stepfather the mother protecting the stepfather or the father from being, punished by the public and by the authorities. And let's say I choose to speak out for that little girl, or I choose to say, well, I know this girl being sexually abused by her stepfather and the mother hiding it or whatever. Junior, I may just put in myself in a serious problem I don't want to be in, right? For instance, I've seen cases already where children are being sexually abused by their father or their stepfather, and they report the matter, and the parents know of it, they have proof of it, and they will still defend it to the extent that I get in charge for spreading wrong rumors or spreading rumors that I cannot prove as a neighbor or somebody in the community. How I proving that if the parents defending it? How I go into the magistrate court or go to the police and prove that a young child is being sexually abused by the father or by the stepfather, the parents, and them protecting it? So people saying that everybody have a part to play. I don't mind in people's business. I mind in my business. I could only stop things that I could prove. Like a lot of situation, people just come to me for me to go on the media and say. Like for instance, I was telling somebody today, Junior. I know of a situation where a young lady was mentally and verbally and physically abused by a man she was with, right? Actually, she was in a situation where the man was beating her up a day. She called out to her father and tell her father, Daddy, I dey in a house with the man and the man beating me, whatever. The father take a cutlass, put it in the van, and left Grenville with it. Go in St. David's in the situation and defend his daughter. You know, after that, Junior, the girl still go and stand a witness for she man in the courthouse. She called she father and tell she father, look, she man beating her up. The man take cutlass, he go down there, he and the guy end up in a scuffle. The guy get caught in the process. She still go in court and stand a witness against the father with the man. I'm saying all this to say that certain situation you cannot prove by yourself, especially if the parents of that child is defending the situation. You gonna involve yourself in something that does not concern you because it don't concern you since the parents and them defending it strongly and firmly. You're gonna put yourself in a trouble that you don't want to be in. Right? Then again, the young lady makes statement concerning that she wouldn't make she child sit down and eat father lap, whatever. I respect that, Junior. However, I see nothing wrong with that. You understand? It's just that nowadays women don't taking time to know their companion, or they ignore the true aspect of the companion. They ignore the true reputation and identity of the companion, right? So they don't. They is not you refusing to make your daughter sit down and she father lap. I don't see nothing wrong in that because it have fathers that have genuine love and care for the daughters. It have fathers with genuine love that they have a good, very good, relationship with a child, that the child will sit on the lap and nothing will be going through the man's mind. That's just pure love you have for your daughter. Now, me as an outsider, as a stepfather, as a man, Junior, even my nieces and them, I don't play with them. Junior is very particular about, you see them other bad name, I don't mind it, but you see pedophile, you see raper man, they name afraid Junior. I doesn't play with nobody girl children. I don't raising them. I don't holding them. You can tell me hold your girl child for you coming back. And you won't see me in the public raising somebody girl children. You quicker see me with a boy in me and play with a boy. Give a child a boy a bounce or whatever. You see people girl children, Junior, are very particular about that. I don't
Yeah.
play with girl children like that. You understand? And as I said a while ago, it all boils down to the parents, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Parents need to guide their children in the way they want them to grow. If you take a baby Junior and you bring it in China, if you take a baby born in Grenada and bring it in China, what language you think he will speak?
Yeah. Yeah. You speak the Chinese language.
He go he will, if you don't teach a baby English, he can't speak English. You could take a newborn baby and bring it into China, he go speak Chinese. However, if you take a Chinese baby and bring it in Grenada, his English he go speak. I'm saying this to say what our children see, what they hear, and what they experience is that they go say, do, and practice. Right? Parents need to be careful and mindful about the lifestyle they're living around their kids too. Because a lot of things parents just do and making their kids feel it's okay to do the same thing. Right?
Yeah.
Parents need to respect themselves and respect their children. As I say, have a better and stronger relationship with your children rather than man. Man is dog. As a man, I could tell you, man is dog.
And that, let's jump to the caller on the line. Let's jump to the line right now. Caller, live, where you calling us from?
Hi, Junior. Good evening to you and your panel. Hi, Dr. Mitchell. Sorry, is she Dr. Mitchell?
Alexander. Sabrina Alexander.
Oh, okay, Dr. Alexander. Good afternoon, and to you, Karim. I'm calling from Grenada, Junior.
Yes, nice.
I just yes, man. I've been listening to the discussion, not from the beginning, but I joined you perhaps 20 minutes ago. And I noticed that the discussion is kind of almost making women the perpetrator. And we have to be very careful that in the discussion that we do not stray from who the real perpetrators here. Because quite often, I'm not saying in all cases, but quite often you find that women themselves are abused, whether it is physically, verbally, emotionally. They have developed certain trauma bonds with these perpetrators where they do not even feel as if they have the strength and the support. And I'm not justifying it here. I'm just pointing something out. Because for the last few minutes, we've been harping on the women, the women, the women, the women. I can't imagine what that woman in Carriacou is going through. She is probably traumatized with guilt and shame. I can't imagine what the father of the child is going through as well. Guilt, again, for not being there in that child's life. It could have been by choice. It could have been they broke up. He's doing his thing.
I think the father
but the bottom line is that
deceased, I believe.
Is deceased. Okay, thanks for clarifying that.
I stand corrected.
Right.
But I do believe.
But I think we need to send a powerful message to our young men. A powerful message to the young men, the old dirty pedophiles out there that have no respect for themselves I see them in public domains, on cruises, all over the place, stalking young people, buying drinks for them, trying to intoxicate them, sexually abusing all these young children. Those that are in the homes with women, taking advantage on the vulnerability of women. We have to be very, very, very careful here that we don't give these guys a bly, and that at the end of the discussion, these men don't feel ashamed of themselves. The ones that are lusting and going after these little girls and may not go as far because they don't have the chance or the opportunity. It is rampant in our society and in our community. And yes, it's the same as saying because a young woman wear a certain type of outfit, she deserves to be raped. No, she don't deserve to be raped, right? So women find themselves in all kinds of situations. And I'm not excusing women because there are some women, Lord, I don't know what happened to them. And one caller said something earlier on today about not letting her child even sit on her own father's lap. And believe you me, I took the same approach because men have a physical makeup that
some men.
No. I'm saying, listen to what I'm saying here. Men has a physical makeup. They have an external tool that if stimulated, things can happen. It can raise its head. And so therefore, I always took the approach. When my daughter is sitting up on her dad's lap, her leg has to be closed and she has to be sitting in a position. I've always been very vigilant about these types of things. And hats off to the parents and the women that are vigilant and continue to be vigilant. But the women here are victims just as the child that passed in many, many instances. And I don't want us to forget that. The real perpetrators here are these dirty bastards. And let's be clear about that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, caller, for your input. We appreciate you so much. Yeah, we're a little bit over time, guys. I think as Michelle said, the conversation about sexual molestation is one that we have a whole lot on Ridealong Live, and we continue to have for many, many, many years. Michelle's story, I remember one time actually after the show was aired, it gotten so much attention that it actually reinforced laws right here in Grenada. So your story could make a big difference, as shown by Michelle Sabrina Alexander, and she went on from that point in time, from a child who was rebellious at school to now becoming a doctor. So it goes to show that you could be anything that you put your mind to be. Let's go back to the phone lines. We got another caller. Caller, where are you calling us from? Hello? Yeah, hi, caller. You're live.
Hello, good night. Hi, Junior.
Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from, I'm a kayak, Junior. This is Keisha speaking. McFarlane.
Oh, Keisha McFarlane. How are you, Keisha?
I'm good. Surviving.
Yes. I know we have a long conversation to have. We have a whole ride along to do.
Yes, Julia, but I just wanna say the last caller. I just wanna tell her, I was about to say the same of the sentiment that she shared in terms of we bashing women, but a lot of us have been battling with these demands. And I'm going to speak from Carriacou end, but I don't want to speak long, Junior, because you and I really have to have this program because it's been long overdue.
Yes, I agree.
And this could have been avoided. And I put up on Esther post that we failed you, Esther. And when I say we, I mean all of us, right? All of us. I am included. Everybody, the whole village, not only the mother, but everybody failed Esther. And I go to the school as well too. The teachers and even the people when you walk in the street supposed to see the signs. But we are so quick of the change from being quiet and getting aggressive.
Yes. Keisha, are you there? All right, we seem to have lost Keisha's audio there. Keisha, are you there? All right, we lost Keisha audio there. Hopefully we get reconnection.
Rude in the public and behaving in a different manner that we criticize and we
Right. Hi, Keisha. Keisha,
them down.
Keisha, are you there?
Um,
Keisha, are you hearing me?
Pardon?
Yeah, we having a bit of a bad connection. A good portion of what you said, we didn't hear anything.
Yes, I'm here. Did I not hear me?
A good portion of what you said, we didn't hear anything. So I guess you're having some bad connection or something.
Hello?
Yeah, we're hearing you now. We're hearing you now. Go ahead, Keisha. Again, guys, we're having some connection problem with Keisha, and I promised Keisha for over a few years now that we will have this live conversation because you do have a serious story to tell. But we'll reconnect back with Keisha when she have a better connection. So let's come back to the panel here, guys, and let's talk about advice for parents. All right, parents that are watching. What are some of the things that they could look for? Michelle, you experience it. You've been there. You understand. You wrote a whole book on this. What could parents look for and should look for in their children to start to question what's going on with them?
I think the if we're looking at physical signs, I think it would be a lot of different things you look for. You look for a change in your child behavior. As a parent, you would know your child. When children are being abused, also, they usually don't want to be around the perpetrator. And I remember during my abuse as well, I would not want to be around my stepfather, and I would try to communicate that. Like if my mother was going somewhere, I would want to go with her, but then because of his manipulative ways, he still had his way that I stay home and he do whatever he needed to do. So the behavioral changes, sometimes you see the academic performance being affected. So a child who was doing well in school, they're not doing well anymore. The eating habits change. They want to stay out longer. I mean, you would know your child. So what as parents, what you need to do is to create that psychological safety or that space where children would feel comfortable to speak to you. We have something in the Caribbean where we don't like our children to be assertive. If a child is assertive, we call that child rude. So we don't like when children speak out. So we need to start cultivating that climate where children would be able to come to us as parents and let us know what it is happening to them. As parents, we also need to educate our children about the realities. And one of these sad realities is sexual abuse. Let them know where persons should not touch them, or if people touch them, what they should do. I mean, in this Western world, I'm here studying, and in the schools, in the daycare, the children know the number for the police. The children know who to call if they feel unsafe. And these are the things, these are the conversations I think we need to start having with our children. Just to make one point, right? I just want to make a point to what Karim said. He said that if he knows somebody's being abused, that is not his business, but it is your business, because that is why, again, we have something called mandatory reporting. And I understand where it is you're coming from, that you don't want to be in the middle of people's business and people telling you this and people telling you that. But let's think about the innocent child or these innocent children who needs a voice and who cannot protect themselves. So if you know, my advice to you is to help that child so that they could get help.
Yeah, yeah.
Junior, I just want to speak in a forum where I want to be understanding, right? And I don't want people get no different point of view to what I'm trying to bring across. I just want you to listen me and try to understand me from my corner, right? As I stated already, we in a society where people get defended and being excluded from a lot of things they're being accused of because they have money, they have name, they have godfathers, and I've seen it, I've experienced it, so I'm speaking based on experience. And I'm telling you, based on experience, sometimes I may have clue, I may have slight belief that there is a issue or there is a situation of sexual assault on a minor in a certain situation, but I don't have what it takes to prove that is actually the case, right? I cannot prove that a man is sexually assaulting a woman, a child, infant, or whoever, if I don't have solid proof to defend my statement. And I'm telling you, I don't want to put myself in a situation where I don't have the money, where I don't have the godfathers, where I don't have what it takes to defend myself. And if the parents defending the situation and cutting their neck, as you was in a situation where your mother used to swear for the father, betray you as she own flesh and blood that she give birth to, and believe a man over you because of love or because of money, the same money we're speaking about presently, right? Because of love or because of money, your own parents would betray you to an extent that you was being sexually abused, and they just decide to sweep it down the carpet. I don't have what it takes to put myself in a situation that I don't want to be into, right? And I just want to say to the caller a while ago that stated that, certain things with saying that we coming down on the women. I don't coming down on women. I'm not trying to blame the women. I'm trying to put the women in a space that they will protect themselves and their children from situations like these, right? Because if you look at it, the authorities not doing what we want them to do, where we might want to stone them and kill them, where we might want to beat them, put them in a pasture and just beat them to death or hang them. A lot of people saying hang them, whatever. This wouldn't come to pass, right? It wouldn't happen. So I'm just speaking for the parents to wise up and protect them children and them, because whatever laws they put in place, whatever thing they're doing to these men and them, that wouldn't stop it from happening. It wasn't that bad 15 years ago, but every year it's getting worse, right? It's getting worse. So the only thing I could do from my end is to speak to the parents so that they go protect themselves and their children from this situation happening to them. You understand? Because clearly it's the parents to be blamed, right? It's not the men. The men are the demons that do the crime. But if we as parents ignore the signs and the cry of our kids, then we allowing these men to continue doing that to them kids.
Yeah.
But if we protect we kids from this kind of situation and then by listening to them, getting these men away from them, as in your case, your stepfather being convicted for sexually assaulting his own daughter, and your mother still allowing back in she place. That is a big red card. I don't know how that could happen in my world. That a man has been prosecuted for sexually assaulting his own daughter, and you choose to bring him around your children or your child, which is his stepchild. If you do any own child, what he's going to do to yours? So in other words, I'm not speaking basically of your situation, but in other words, your mother was the cause of that whole situation. If she protected you from beginning, you would have never go through what you went through as a human being.
All right. Let's just take a quick with you guys for a quick commercial break. I have a caller on the line, but I have to take this break. We'll come right back. We'll move right along live.
initially said that you thought the Supreme Court would have a difficult time. Your quote that I looked up today was avoiding the consequence of the plain language of the 14th Amendment. It was obviously a 9-0 call today. So I wonder, what you made of this ruling and if you feel differently now.
But I'm certainly not here to talk about the 14th Amendment, the U.S. Constitution, the Supreme Court, Donald Trump, nothing like that. In fact, I'm more interested in finding out what's happening in the Caribbean. I'm more interested in telling you what's happening in the Caribbean. In fact, I want to invite you to Grenada. And when you get there, you have to be a part of the Riders e-bike excursions and tours. Now, every Sunday, we take you out on a trail inside of Grenada. Best opportunity to see the interior of the island. But if you don't want to get that adventurous and you want to go on your own thing, you could walk into the Esplanade Mall, nice mall, as soon as you get off the cruise ship in St. George, and rent an e-bike. And you could ride around the tongue of St. George for the entire day. Low price, great price, excellent fare. Now, this is more important than any 14th Amendment, guys. I'm telling you. When you come to Grenada, you check out Riders e-bike excursions and tours. Yeah, Riders e-bike excursions and tours. Even if you stayed in the hotel, we'll get you your e-bike. So you could go to the beach or night out, whatever it is. Check us out inside the Esplanade Mall. You could even call us at 473-422-1011. That's 473-422-1011. Riders e-bike excursions and tours. Get with the program. 14th Amendment, Donald Trump. I just don't want to talk about that.
Everybody got the gloves? All right. Ridealong Live is brought to you by Ride e-bike excursions and tours. We got to tell you about Ride excursion rentals and tours. Guys, this Sunday, we have an excursion. We have an excursion going into, it's going to be in Mount Camel Falls. So we're starting by Union. We're riding up to La Digue, across Deso, Post Royal, Munich, heading over to Mount Camel Fall. Ride excursion, rental and tour. Guys, if you want to book, you call this number right now, 473-422-1011, and book your excursion for ride. This Sunday, book early, book now. It is about 4 more bikes, I think, because the thing does sell out quick. Book now. Riders, excursion, rentals, and tours. Sponsoring up and powering up Ridealong Live. All right, guys, let's go back really quickly and close off the whole discussion. I think I have a caller on the line I want to jump to before we get final closing words. Caller, live, where are you calling us from?
Hi, guys. I'm calling from Grenada.
Grenada, go right ahead.
Junior, I'm calling on some of the parents that are sending all the little girl children to selling pastry and selling stuff.
Yes.
To me, that's not a good thing. The other day, I was working from home and some children came by selling pastry and stuff. And the age range, like you can see around 8 to 9. About 3 of them selling pastry. And one of them ended up asking me to use my washroom, and one wanted water. And I ended up speaking to them and telling them, try not to ask anybody to use their washroom, and try not to ask people for water. Try and walk with the water if ever they're selling this stuff. To me, selling like a girl trying to sell stuff is not a good thing. And I'm calling on some of the parents to stop it. One sell the thing for themselves.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. All right.
Junior, you see again, Junior tired. I'm fed up. I spend enough money just taking things from children and giving them the money it worth and sending them back home. Orange, skin up, plum, mango stew, vegetable, pepper, just name it, Junior. I'm tired. I'm fed up giving children money for what the goods in the basket cost and just giving it away and just to send them home, Junior, just to try to protect them from this kind of predators and them out here. And these parents and them, Junior, I do about 2 video concerning that already. And just these parents and them just not listening. All the seen on the news, all the seen on TV, all the seen on Facebook every day. What has been happening? All the still sending. I see about 3 of them pass by the fish market. They are the little ones. He could be 7, 8, and 9 year old. They're selling plum stew and mango stew. And the parents sit down at home waiting for them to come back with the money. Junior, that is not like before. That is not like 15 years ago when the streets was safe and these children and them was safe. Junior, is a struggle thing hard, but why you as a parent to come out and sell your thing for yourself? You there in a position, you're there in a state of mind where you could make your own choices of respect to yourself. You there in a position where you could make your own decision if them predators and them attack you. You're 8, 9, 10 year old that are do they in a position where they could make choices for themselves or to reject these predators and them, because sometimes they just come so nice and convincing and persuading. Junior. I talk to these people and them about this thing, but Grenadians just not hearing. Like all they does only hear when I cussing people. All it doesn't hear when I'm trying to educate all you. There is nothing the law is doing or what they're doing may not be enough, or we might want them to do more to protect the kids. But if they're failing to do it, we all you as the parents should step up and protect them too. Don't depend on the authorities to do everything. Protect all the children by avoiding sending all the 8, 9, 10 year old that are on the streets to sell things by themselves. All the sending them for money, that mean all the exposing them. Men could offer them the same money and want to touch them in all kind of places and do them all kind of thing, and then all they want me to come here and blame men. Whether they do it, whether we find out or we don't find out, there will still be men out there doing these things and having them young ladies and them covering up for them, having their girlfriend covering up for them, having their wife covering up for them. But if we protect we children and them from these things and we educate them about it, that could reduce the amount of cases in this sexual harassment and these sexual crimes and things are going on right now. You understand where I'm coming from?
I got you. And you're right. They could be exploited. Michelle, we at that point in time. Closing words, closing remarks. Let me wrap it up. We're already over time. And Michelle, closing remark is. Hold on. It's upside down. It looks upside down to me.
I'm mute.
Oh, sorry. Okay, unmute me. Sorry. I thought you was writing something that you wanted to the audience. All right. No, you're not mute. No, go ahead.
He was saying mute. Okay. Yeah. I just want to clear a misconception. So if anybody is listening, Karim, I don't being hard on you, but I just want to clear a misconception from what you said. Mandatory reporting doesn't mean you have to prove anything. It just means that if you know someone is in danger, you report. It is the role of the police and social services to prove and to place a child in somewhere that is safe. I would like to call, what I would want to do to end is call on the authorities to have a safe house. So if we're trying to tell children speak out, we should ensure that there is a safe place where they would be able to move or stay, or not just a place where they're getting food, clothing, and shelter, but a place where they could get psychological help. In closing, again, parents, it is your duty to protect your children. Again, it is very, 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 very important that you create that atmosphere where they feel safe to speak to you. To the people that are listening, if you have a child, I have a children book that I could share in a digital format. It's a book that speaks to raising awareness for children, creating that confidence within them where they would be able to speak out. So you could send me a message, my name and Facebook. You would see 2 accounts, but the one that I use is Michelle Ella Alexander. And let's all remember again that we all have a part to play, and sexual abuse is each and every one of us business, because Today, it might be me. Tomorrow, it might be you. So let us do what we can to at least curb. We may not be able to end it, but we might be able to curb the incidences.
All right. All right. Yes. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I just had my power just went out temporarily there. So I just had to fix that. But thank you so much, Kareem. Prince Kareem, we see you. Michelle, thank you so much, guys. Great conversation. We hopefully we don't only need to have this conversation when something like that happens. This is a continuous conversation that we should try to have as often as possible. And Ride Along Live, as you guys know, is a platform that will keep the stories alive where everyone have a story to tell. So Prince Kareem, Michelle, thank you guys so much. We'll keep in touch. All right.
All right.
All right.
Good evening.
Good night. Yeah, guys, I got some closing thoughts, some closing remarks, but first, let's bounce on a quick commercial break and I'll come back with closing words. Don't move, we'll be right back.
The privilege of sampling the Golden Jubilee edition of the limited edition spice rum from the Grenada distillers, and I must say it's something that you should try. It is authentically Grenadian, but from the flavors to the aromas to the overall taste, the blend is great. It's light, it's golden like the Golden Jubilee, and I think you can make any collector's shelves anywhere in the world. Hats off to the Grenada distillers.
All right, so final caller on the line. Caller, you are our last caller. Go right ahead.
Hello.
Yes, hi. You're a final caller before
we
wrap.
I'll listen you all within the discussion. The only thing I find is within the word solution is like I listen to Karen say is like paying for like buying the stuff from the kids and sending them back home is a learn. I look at within the word discussion, it's supposed to be a learning experience, not only for the parents and for the kids, but the whole entire country, because we have to look at our history. If we don't know our history, we don't know our roots. It's like, look at where we are now in this present moment within time and space and technology, and how we still treating each other, down to the political sector, down to religious sectors. And we have to, not only by the rule of law, but by actually getting everyone involved, having a structure in place to guide people on the right path within their past and to bring them up to speed within the future. Because it's like I'm listening y'all guys talking on this platform, but it's something like it's a quarrel, not a solution concept. It's just like it's like saying you have a successful business with Ridealong. You understand? But imagine if your business flop, then who you gonna blame?
Yeah.
You get me?
I think that it was an informative conversation, especially hearing from Michelle, who actually been through the situation. She has firsthand knowledge, and she's right now a doctor. She have written a book, I'm sure, on the topic to help people. So it's a good dialogue in terms of helping parents look for that red flags for the children and to help children as well. So I think it was a productive conversation, and I hope it wasn't too much of a quarrel. I don't know which part of it was a quarrel, but I think it's informative. But we need to have more of it, not the knee-jerk reaction to when something happened and we come and talk about it. We need to have this conversation all the time.
That's a fair point.
Yeah,
that's a fair point. But please take in consideration is like what you know and others who don't know.
Right.
Because within the word trauma, it's like your mind is in a different state. And within the word to heal, or to teach, or to guide, or to educate, or to inform, you have to meet people in all their different levels.
Right.
And it's just like I listened to what Dr. Michelle said. It's still, we have to be open-minded within opinion, not about bamboozling and making making stuff up. We have to meet people on their level to guide them on the right path, not about neglecting each other. Because it's just like a criminal is not a criminal unless he commit a crime. But how we stop the crime from happening before it happens.
Right. All right. All right, caller. Thank you so much for your input.
Look,
go ahead, make your final point quickly.
You understand me, sir?
Yeah. Make your final point quickly. We gotta wrap up.
Okay. Well, my final point is to educate and inform everyone and put things in place from the government, the leaders. It's supposed to be from the head come down.
Right. All right. Thank you so much, caller. Thank you so much. Right along live, guys. We have to run. We're going to be in Grenada for the next couple days. Intercall tomorrow, but we'll still be live. Intercall tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. We're still going to be live in Grenada. It's going to be on pay-per-view, so don't expect to see Intercall tomorrow on this platform. It's going to be on pay-per-view. We're going to share the pay-per-view link. We'll be in the park. I might take some pictures, but hey, we're not going to be live. Again, guys, don't forget, if you're in Grenada and you want to be a part of our excursion, this Sunday we're going to do Ride the Falls, and that's going to be in the Mount Camel Fall. We're inviting you guys to come out and ride with us. It's always fun. Real fun and excitement at Ride the Falls. It is amazing. Ride Along Live is also brought to you by JetBlue. If you're flying to Grenada, don't forget there are three direct flights coming to Grenada. 2 flights per day, guys. 2 flights per day every single day from JFK. And on a Saturday, from Boston, you could catch a direct flight from Boston to Maurice Bishop International Airport. Book now at jetblue.com.
Development Authority of Grenada, PDA, is enforcing regulations to curb illegal, disorderly, and unauthorized development in several locations throughout the state of Grenada. The authority is concerned that structures mainly associated with vending are negatively impacting the environment, has undesirable public health and sanitation consequences, present obstructions to vehicle and pedestrian traffic, can become projectiles during adverse weather conditions, and generally affect the aesthetics of the nation. The PDA will work along with stakeholder ministries and institutions to effect the demolition, removal, and disposal of structures which fall in the category of illegal and disorderly development, commencing January 2024. In this regard, persons who vend in or occupy such illegal structures are advised to secure their personal belongings and have the structures removed ahead of the planned PDA demolition operations. These actions of the PDA have become necessary to safeguard and protect public health and the environment, ensure the safety and well-being of all citizens and visitors, discourage any future disorderly construction, and encourage compliance to regulations pertaining to physical development in the state of Grenada. This is a message from the Planning and Development Authority of Grenada.
I want you folks to play these 3 games from the NLA. Daily pick 3 cash flow and play with. You will be supporting sports and culture, nation building and our future. So go out and play, folks, make it a must. You will see what the National Lottery is doing for us. When you play pick 3 cash flow and play with, the NLA will support you all the way.
Starting September 30th, Monday to Friday, these 3 games will be drawn mid-morning, 9:45 a.m., midday, 12:45 p.m., and evenings, 7:45 p.m. The National Lotteries, supporting sports, culture, and nation building.
Sunday money day.
Yeah. Again, guys, Ride Along Live is also brought to you with the kind compliments of Geneva's Cottage, located in Woodlands. Guys, if you're in Grenada and you want a place to stay, a beautiful place to stay, check them out on Airbnb. Geneva's Cottage, Geneva Cottage. Book now. All right. For more information, guys, we're also going to put the link in the chat right here. Ride Along Live is brought to you by Geneva's Cottage. All right, so let me call on parents, guys. Parents, you are the guardian. You are the protectors. You are the hero for your kids. Please don't let them down. You brought them here into the world. Your job is to guide them through life. Teach them. Protect them. Protect them. Protect them. Parents, take your job seriously. All right? And again, guys, this is not only during a situation like this we come out and have this kind of conversation to alert the general public, to basically put the pedophiles on blast. We've been doing this for 8-9 years, and we continue to do so, right? We are saddened that most of the cases in court right now are sexually related cases. It's like 80-1 sexual related cases. So something seriously needs to be done. And some of these cases, some of them sexually related cases, are people who are just in a circle, in a vicious cycle. They would commit sexual offenses, they would go to court, or they get on bail, or they go to court, they go to jail, spend a very, very limited period of time, come back out and do the same thing. So this is a cycle and a circle. We're not saying that all these people are committing sexual offenses, but the people who are committing those sexual offenses, they are repeat offenders, multiple instances of repeat offenders. So the law have to be more stringent and serious for these types of crimes. So it's a full community law enforcement and the legislature's approach to enforce it, writing laws to get these guys sent away for a very long time. A very long time. It's important. We have to make a statement with the laws on the books. Anyway, guys, we are out of time. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for being a part. If you want to advertise on Ride Along Live, guys, we encourage you to give us a call, 718-701-5720. We reach more people than any other media platform, and an opportunity to send your business viral. Give us a call right now at 718-701-5720, or inbox us and find out about our great rates for March and April 2024. Ride Along Live. Catch you guys again tomorrow. Good night.
Us and reach millions daily, weekly, monthly. Yeah, over 10 million per month. It pays to advertise with us. Reach more and let us send your business viral. Advertise with us and reach more.
Ridealong Live.